Welcome to the Mega Housing Summit 2025. If you can see me, if you can hear me, if you're excited to be here, let me see that energy. How are we all doing? It's good to see some familiar faces, some familiar names again. How are we? Okay, so I see we have a couple of us, but we still need the numbers to go up. So if you know anyone that is supposed to be here, there's no need for you to delay. There's no need for you to overthink it. Hurry now and let them know that we have started. Let them know that we are live. And every time, every minute, every second that they miss is a value missed, a gem missed. And I do not want anybody to miss anything. So please hurry now. Tell them to join us. It's also great for us to know where you're joining from. What part of the world are you joining from? So this is me saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, maybe good night, wherever you're joining from. It's so good to have you join us once again at the Mega Housing Summit. This is the 2025 edition. Some people were here last year and they are no longer the person they were from the things that they have learned last year. And if this is your first time, I want to say welcome. You have made the right decision to be here. This is the best place to be at this time in 2025. And this is one of the decisions that you would not regret. So I want to know, how many first timers do we have? Is this your first time of joining Mega Housing Summit? What are your expectations? What are you looking forward to when you saw the publicity material? What was going through your mind? How were you feeling? Were you excited? Were you elated? I don't know what the adjective is, but I just really want to know how you were feeling when you saw this program and what your expectations are, because indeed all of your expectations would be met. Housekeeping rules, please don't let anybody distract you. If you're on Zoom, please ensure that you remain muted at all times. No distraction, just so that we can all have an amazing time today during the conversations that we'll be having. I'm sure you've seen the flyer. We have 3 speakers already and they're super ready for us. And they have amazing topics within the duration that they will be sharing with us. So have you told your friends? Have you told your family? Have you told your community, the people around you, that the Mega Housing Summit is happening and they need to be here right now because we have started, we are live. We do not want to delay any further because every minute counts. Your time is precious and we're people of integrity. We stick to our word, and that is why some of you have continued to do business with the LifePage brand, and we are so glad for the privilege of being here again today and having you join us. So how many of you are expectant? How many of you are excited? How many of you? I can see the reactions. I can see the emoji. So on behalf of the executive management, the board of LifePage, I want to welcome you to Mega Housing Summit 2025. And this is a great place for us to start with the welcome address that I will be reading to us. And this is the intention and the expectation of the management. They really do care about you and they have this note for you. So here it goes. Good day to our distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, partners, and all participants joining us from across the globe for the Mega Housing Summit 2025. What an honor it is to welcome you to this year's edition of a conference that has grown beyond just an event into a catalyst for transformation across the global housing landscape. It's been 7 solid years. This is a good place to clap. This is a good place to scream, to be excited. It has indeed been 7 solid years of hosting this summit. And this year, we are taking the vision further. The conversations ahead are designed to shift how you see ownership, how you approach wealth, and how you position yourself in a changing economy. From Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, we will uncover the framework for wealth architecture, a 5-year plan. We will see how you can create or architect your wealth from 2025 to 2030 with principles for building assets that outlive you and creates cash flow that doesn't just end with your lifetime. Oladipupo Clement will take us deeper into the mindset and the methods of making money from real estate through structure, timing, and the right information. And Opeoluwa Oni will show us how to turn real estate into recurring income, regardless of where you're starting from, because opportunity is not reserved for a few. It is available to those who understand how to access it. And for those of you that you're here, you definitely know how to access opportunities, and you will definitely get value in all of these sessions. In these times where the global economy feels unpredictable, this summit serves as a reminder that opportunities still exist. So whether you are here as an individual, a developer, an investor, a policymaker, or someone who is simply seeking direction on where to begin, you are in the right place. Every concept that will be shared here today is designed to equip you with the clarity and confidence that you need to turn vision into visible results. So I encourage you all to stay engaged, take notes, ask questions, and above all, I need you to engage your imagination. I need you to think big, because it is free to dream. So dream far and wide, because what starts here today could shape the way housing and wealth creation unfolds, not just locally, but globally in the years ahead. On behalf of the Live Page team, I welcome you once again to the Mega Housing Summit 2025. Here is the fresh insight, renewed vision, and the courage to build something that outlives all of us. Once again, thank you and welcome, 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 welcome. So how are we all doing? Are we ready? Do we have our notes? Do we have our pens? Do we have our papers? How many of us were here last year? I want to see that reaction. How many of us were here last year? Because I remember last year, I remember how it went. I also remember that earlier this year, there was also another summit. So how are we? What are your expectations? Maybe that's where I should start from. What are your expectations from today? Do we have expectations? I would like to read them. I don't just want to, post them. Let me see them. I want to see all of them, all of it, all of it, all of it, all of it. Don't be shy. Are we shy? I see we have 54 people on Zoom. Thank you. From Sweden, I can see Apostle Joseph. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Kelvin, fantastic. You're in the right place. I like that comment that you just made. I love real estate business, but I don't have cash to invest. How do I start? Don't worry. After listening, you definitely know how to get started, right? So you're in the right place, and I think that this is a great time for us to go into our first topic for today, and our guest is definitely ready. I mean, he's no guest to those who are a friend of the house. He's no guest, he's familiar, he's been here over the years, adding value. He's the one and only Mr. Opeoluwa Oni, and he'll be talking to us about mistakes to avoid when buying a property in Nigeria, and he'll be sharing with us for the next 30 minutes. And it's very important for us to note at this point that one of the greatest things that can affect you when you're doing anything is ignorance, right? So a lot of people want to engage in real estate, but you don't know how to, just as Kelvin has said in the comment section. And this is a session that you should pay rapt attention to, because Mr. Opeoluwa would be doing justice, and I will be reading a brief profile just so that you know the caliber of person that is going to be speaking to you this very evening here in Lagos, Nigeria. Opeoluwa Oni is a visionary business leader and executive director at LifePage Property and Investments Limited, one of Nigeria's foremost real estate development firm. With a strategic footprint across the construction, education, and allied industries, he serves as a director in multiple companies, driving growth and innovation. He is passionate about leadership, faith, and impact. Opeoluwa Oni has dedicated over a decade to mentoring and empowering young people through a vibrant youth empowerment movement, grooming them for influence, excellence, and generational relevance. As a trusted advisor, he helps individuals, investors, and organizations unlock wealth and sustainability through strategic real estate investments, turning opportunities into lasting legacies. If your hands are not too busy, I mean your digital hands, I'd like you to give Mr. Opeoluwa Oni a round of applause, a resounding round of applause. You know, there's a way you can give a round of applause on Zoom that it can be felt. I want you to use those reactionary buttons. Welcome, Mr. Opeoluwa Oni, as he shares with us mistakes to avoid when buying a property in Nigeria. And all of your questions will be taken afterwards, but do make sure to share your questions with us. Welcome once again to Mega Housing Summit, and it's time for our first speaker, Mr. Opeoluwa Oni.
Thank you very much for having me tonight. Thank you very much, everyone. And tonight is going to be a great one. I'm so excited to be here for all our viewers on YouTube, for all our viewers live here on Zoom. So just follow me, and we are going to have a nice time tonight, okay? So welcome, everyone. So tonight's session is basically, this particular section is tailored towards anybody thinking of investing in properties in Nigeria. And most of the things I'm going to be touching on here are globally relevant as well, okay? That's very important that we take note of that. And I want to quickly start by sharing this story. I mean, most of us can relate with some of these news. And a colleague of mine shared a story of a friend that built a 16-unit of 2-bedroom apartment, and they're using it for the purpose of shortlets. And after building it, they started the business, and I mean, suddenly one day, the government officials showed up. This was a property that he built. He got all the documentations, assuming that he got all the right documentations in place, and the place was marked without any notice, and it was marked, and they were confused. And all of a sudden, the business that they've invested multiple millions into became stalled. And that was the beginning of a roller coaster, going back and forth with government, and eventually some couple of days ago, the building was pulled down. That was how millions went down the drain. And the reason why we have put this together is so that you will not fall victim of that, whether you are investing multiples of millions, you are investing billions, you are investing your hard-earned fund, any kind of money that you are investing, there are mistakes that you can avoid by doing some of the things that we're going to be sharing with you today. And I want you to really pay attention to this, okay? So for me to just know that you can hear me loud and clear, just go to the chat room and type MHS. I just want to be sure that you can hear me loud and clear. Just chat room, just type MHS. I can just, okay, fantastic. So number one mistake that we must pay attention to when we are investing in property in Nigeria is the question of mistakes of purpose. You must be able to answer purpose. So buying without a clear and written purpose is going to end you up in a total mess. Okay, let me give you an example, for instance. Anytime you're buying a piece of property, there are two basic things that you must pay attention to. And I always tell people, buying property is not about emotion. It's not about emotion. It's about logic. It's about the numbers. Is this property giving me the right numbers? And for you to even go to the numbers, the foundation is the place of purpose. Purpose is the foundation of everything. Like it's usually said that if the foundation be destroyed, this superstructure has no opportunity to survive. Okay, so that is what purpose helps you to do, basically. And these two things must be the foundation of your purpose. Am I buying this property for cash flow? Or I'm buying this property for capital gain? Or can this property that I am buying do both cash flow or capital gain? So basically, what's cash flow? So is this property going to be giving me residual income? Is it going to be giving me cash flow on a basis, on a regular basis? Am I going to be earning from this property? Is this property going to allow my money to work for me? You must be able to answer that question. And when we talk about capital gain, is this property going to be hardened up? Okay, is this property going to be hardened up? That is another thing that is very important. I mean, some of us have heard stories of probably somebody bought a property maybe for $10,000, for instance, or maybe property for $1,000, for instance, and at some point in time, that same property, probably they sold it for times 10, for times 3, times 4, times 5. So basically what has happened to that property is that that property has gained capital. Okay, the capital you invest is not the same capital that it is right now. Okay, so that is one of the things when you must be able to establish your purpose. You know, the reason why a lot of people make the mistake of purpose is that they just jump into the bandwagon of buying properties, right? Clear purpose will not even allow you to exit suddenly. You will really, you know, okay, for instance, now, for somebody that is doing land banking, right? And we often tell our people, the fact that you are going into land banking, you have to think long term, because land banking is not a scheme that you can decide that you want to exit in 5 years. It's not a scheme that you enter into a little challenge you want to sell off. No. Land banking does not allow that. Establishing the purpose that, okay, I'm going into this property for 10 years, for 15 years, okay? For 10 years, for 15 years, like our mentor often shared these stories, I mean, of him buying properties in the 90s, in the early 2000s, and some of those properties are worth multiples of billions now. And he asks questions: can anybody wait? And the reason why a lot of people cannot wait is because the purpose was not properly defined. Your long-term goal, your financial goal, and your ownership. Some people are even buying for the purpose of legacy. Okay, it's part of the purpose. So I'm buying this property because I want to transfer it to the generation after me. I'm buying this property because I want to send it. I mean, it has to be for my great-grandchildren, even though I'm the one buying it, because I want to give them a head start in life that I never got. Okay, so that's one mistake that you must not make. And I need them to dwell on that so that we can all get it very, very important, because some of us are going to be making decisions right tonight, and at the foundation of the decisions that you're going to be making tonight, purpose must be established. Very, very important. Number 2 thing is the mistake of budget. Mistake of budget. Do you want to start anything? You must sit down and count the cost. What is it going to cost me? You are doing something that you have never done before, or you are taking a step that you have never taken before. The question of budget must be properly answered. You are going into the market and you are just going into it. Like I always tell people, some people buy property in faith, right? Yes, I understand that place of having belief and all of that. But at the end of the day, it is not your belief that will turn that property to yours. Okay, it is the cash that you pay, right? So it is better that you have an established, right, budget, a framework, financial framework. How am I going to fund this property? Very, very, very important, because it's going to help you that, can I really afford what I'm going into? It's going to even help you that, okay, do I really need a payment plan, right? Do I really need a payment plan, or am I going for outright payment? All of these little details are very, very important. So budget is very important. Okay, budget is very, very important. So for me to be sure that you are still with me, just go to the chat room and type budget. Type budget. I just want to be sure that you are with me. So budget is very, very important, okay? So if you are going into a property purchase, or you plan to buy property, for instance, and you don't have anything saved up, right? That means probably you don't even have the lockdown available. So you now need to sit down and really know, okay, if this property, for instance, I need to be paying ₦1 million for the next 6 months, every month, how am I going to fund this million? ₦1 million. What other things in my life that is this going to affect? And the output of making this mistake is that some people are buying property and they ended up being broke after buying the property. In fact, there have been cases, people paying for property, and at some point in time, they can't continue. Okay, probably they took that decision out of emotion instead of out of logic, not properly planning. Some people, instead of them buying a half plot of land, for instance, or buying a 2-bedroom, they are going 2-bedroom apartment, they are going for a duplex, right? All these are supposed to be answered from the place of budget. Like the popular saying goes, that you cut your clothes according to the material that is available. You don't cut it according to your desire. Okay, very important. Number 3 thing, mistake that you must not make when you are buying property anywhere in the world, whether it's Nigeria, outside Nigeria, in Europe, in America, is the question of location. You must not make that mistake. One thing location does is that it literally, in fact, research has shown that when it comes to capital gain, like we mentioned in the first point, is that location determines 60 to 70% of how the capital gain of that property that you are buying. Location is very, very, very important. Very important. Locations also matter to the extent that the community of people that you are going to be staying. Okay, a place can be 15 minutes drive to the. Can be 15 minutes. There are two locations. Let me give an example. Let me give a practical example. Let's say there's a location A, there's a location B. Right? Our office in Lagos, Nigeria is in Bagada, for instance. There are places that are 15 minutes drive radius of Bagada. And there are other places too that are 15 minutes drive of Bagada. But there's a particular location A is a community of people, okay, with like minds. Community of people that have same set of value, qualities in place. The location B is a place, community of people that don't have like minds, that don't have communities. Okay, there's this story of mine that I often share. I used to stay in a very particular location at a point in time, right? And I was just thinking about it. My father owned a property, and like most of us, there's a book we are going to be talking about today, and we are going to be sharing. In that book, a story of mine was shared. Okay, so we did a valuation of that property of recent, because of the location of that property, right? The valuation is not about the structure, right? But it's about the community. It's about the location. So you can have a property in Bagada, for instance, and the property is going to be worth, let's say, $500 million. But walking 5 minutes away from Bagada is somewhere close to Bagada called Bariga. And another same property, same structure, same land size is going to be probably worth maybe 200 million. What happened to those two properties? Location and the quality of people. They all go hand in hand. Okay, Bariga is about 20 minutes drive to the island. Bagada too is about 15 to 20 minutes drive to the island. But the quality of people that stays in Bagada and the quality of people that stays in Bariga are not the same thing. I'm not trying to talk down on the quality of people that stays in those two locations. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so for instance, now we often share these. We have a project in Obafemi Wode. We are part of the coalition, Conclave City Coalition. And one of the things I always tell everybody that wants to invest in that project is this. One thing that you will never regret investing in such project is because of the quality of people that have come together. Number one, LifePage is not there in isolation. It's among other members, over 30 other developers coming together. And in each of those developers' development, there are quality of people too that are within it. Okay, so very, very important. Location and the community of people. Because in taking a decision to buy a property too, you must ask yourself, is this place close to where I go to the most? Very important. When you have established the purpose, let's take, for instance, now, the purpose of buying that property is you need a residential house, right? And you go to work every day. You do not have the privilege to do remote work. So one of the things that you must do is that anywhere, especially in Lagos, right? 15 minutes drive, 20 minutes drive, 30 minutes drive. You must not be staying somewhere that will take you 3 hours to get to your workplace. No, that's not being too smart. Okay, these are some of the things that you need to determine from the place of location. So next, which is number 4, mistake that you must pay attention to is sourcing. When you are sourcing for this property, whether you are sourcing from the primary market or you are sourcing from the secondary market, whether you are buying land because you want to build or you are buying a ready-made house, sourcing is very, very important. Okay, very important. How you look for this property. Are you checking it out online? Are you visiting yourself? Are you not even in Nigeria? Are you going to be basing your judgment based on video, or you're going to be sending someone in whose sense of judgment that you trust. All of these things are key things that you must check. Okay, am I buying from a developer like LifePage, for instance? Are their words, their bond, are they going to deliver on some of the promises that they have said they are going to be delivering on? Track record of the avenue you are using to source. Okay, very important. Sourcing. Then next, because of the time, is due diligence. Due diligence is very important. And I'm going to share a story in this due diligence. I mean, we're trying to buy a property for our church. And so I was part of the team. So we got this very fantastic location, good deal. I mean, everybody was excited. We were supposed to make deposits. And we're having a meeting one day, and I told them that, see, can we do another level of check? Can we just do two-factor authentication? Okay, can we just do that? And because I just feel that we just need to do something more. And immediately we did that. And we realized, because you see, when you are investing in Nigeria or anywhere in the world, due diligence is key. Because at the level of due diligence, you'll be knowing who you are buying from, what you are buying. And you are going to be knowing who is transferring title to you. You are going to be knowing the liability that you are, whether it's an asset you are buying or is a liability. So the story, going back to the story, not knowing that the property came at a very good deal because the owner already had a court case. And one of the things they did, I never knew that that happens in Nigeria. One of the things that they did was that probably they told the court people, but we couldn't find the file. We couldn't find the file. The title that the property has was a federal high court judgment giving the ownership of the property to the person. Apparently, appeal has taken place, the man has lost, and the case is already in Supreme Court. And it was already looking like the man was going to lose. What did the man do? He put up the property for sale. Due diligence. You don't be foolish when it comes to due diligence. Do different layers of due diligence. And you see, especially for those that are going new, talk to LifePage, for instance, now. You want to buy land, you want to buy house. You talk to LifePage because LifePage will have borne all the cost of due diligence. Okay? The trusts, basically, you are just transferring that responsibility of due diligence to LifePage, right? Because we've done different layers of due diligence. Of recent now, wanted to acquire a project, I mean, it's one of the projects that we acquired of recent within this calendar year. We're doing a lot of due diligence on the project, size verification. We had to lay the survey, right, of that particular project on the base map of the whole of that area. And we realized, after laying it, we realized that what was being claimed in terms of size that the seller was claiming ownership to, is not the same thing that is available. So these are some of the technical things that you can easily overlook because you did not do proper due diligence. Okay, very, very important. The next thing, which is number 6, mistake that you must critically avoid when you are buying a piece of property is when it comes to negotiation. Okay, entering a deal without strategy, data, or patience is is not a win-win for you in any way at all. So very, very important. The terms must be clear to you. Okay, so these terms must be what? Must be very, very, very clear to you. Okay, read all the details. Okay, very, very important. And if there are room for negotiation, negotiate. And if there are no rooms for negotiation, probably just look for something that suits your budget or suits your position at that very, very point in time. So, okay, have a checklist. I always recommend something for someone. I mean, as of yesterday, I was still talking to someone. The person was seeking my advice on a property. I said, put a checklist together. You must have something at the back of your mind, okay, that you want to achieve from buying that same property. Put the checklist together and let it tick all those details. Then number 7 mistake is the mistake of buying. Okay, I have very few minutes to go. Mistake of buying. Okay, treating payments as, when it comes to buying, Making payment is one of the easiest things. But how are you buying? Hope you are buying at a profit point. That's one of the things a lot of people don't pay attention to. I just want to be sure that you are with me. Just type buying, BUYING. Just type buying in the chat room. Or just whether you're watching on YouTube, type buying in the chat room. I just want to be sure that you are with me. Flow with me tonight, okay? Mistake of buying. Very, very important. And one of the simple way you can avoid that mistake is that make sure that you are buying at the lowest entry point. At every point, there's something called the ceiling of markets when it comes to real estate, okay? When you come to real estate, there are locations that are already gotten to their peak because they are fully developed, okay? The factor that is affecting the price of most of those locations are basically inflation. Okay, not because there's amenities or something brooding or demand, right? But there are some locations that are still at the infant, very, very infant state of that property, right? At any time you are moving into such property, make sure that you are buying below the market price. And please, don't just jump on a deal because it is too good, it's massive and all of those things, and you jump on it without doing your due diligence, okay? Or buying from a trusted hand that has done the due diligence, okay? Make sure you buy at the profit point, okay? Number 8 is the mistake of taking possession. Possession is key. Somebody says that possession is 80% of ownership. If you don't take possession, you do not own it. If you don't take possession, you do not own it. Okay, somebody else can be holding the title, and if you have not taken possession, you're just going to be the one enjoying the project. Okay, so what is possession? Possession is establishing physical control over that property. Okay, a friend of mine bought a property of recent, and the day they signed the contract, as little as changing the padlock, he took possession. He changed the padlock to the gate, did everything. He took possession, changed all the keys to the entrance. He took possession. You buy a piece of land, you fence it around. That's part of taking possession. Okay, very important. Then the other thing is, which is number 9, is documentation. Basically, when you are buying property, what you are buying is right. You are not really buying. I mean, I always share this story, very joking story that, see, most of us, if you trace it back to your great-great-grandfather, most of us are landowners, right? The only thing is that you might be owning your own property in Eyesuku, and you are living in Lagos, or you are living in Abuja, or you are living in UK, or you are living in Atlanta, in US, right? So documentation is very, very key. Whether you are buying in Nigeria, you're buying anywhere that you are buying, make sure you tidy up the documentation. And from the point of purchase too, you really need to have an understanding the type of right you are buying. Because basically what you are buying is right. What type of right am I buying? Is it a freehold right I'm buying? Is it a leasehold right I'm buying? Does this property already has one form of documentation or the other, or is still going through the process of documentation? You need to have that understanding so that you will know that, okay, part of my responsibility is probably to perfect the documentation or not. Very important. And one thing, again, that you must pay attention to, okay, as I begin to wind down because of my time, is the mistake of resale. Resale value of your property too is very, very important. Resale value of your property is very important. Of recent, I was having a conversation with one of our customers, came from the UK, and where he was complaining about a particular property that he bought from another real estate company, and the property was just being very difficult to offload after holding the property for 20-something years. And I said, that is the place for resale. And you need to have that also at the back of your mind, because the objective of buying is actually to sell, right? There are a few things. I just gave him some couple of advice. These are the things you need to put in place so that it will be easy for you to resell that very property, because you need to have that at the very part of your mind. And you need to also have an exit strategy. Like we often say here, see, any property that you hold and you cannot have a defined exit strategy is a trap. It's not an investment. Every investment that you are holding onto, there must be a clear-cut exit strategy. How do I exit this property. Exit. Let's take, for instance, you own a 10-acre property. And I tell people, see, when it comes to land banking, don't buy small. Buy in volume. It gives you an advantage, right? Time will not permit me to dive into that. It gives you an advantage. It gives you, it's more or less like you are setting up your future. You need to have an exit strategy. The fact that you own a 10-acre does not mean that tomorrow you sell the whole 10 acres. No, in 10 years you sell the whole 10 acres. No, you can always sell parts, hold on to the remaining, and you move to another area. That's one of the ways you can accumulate your wealth and you accumulate more land. Very, very important. And there are a couple of things that can really, really help you. Okay, resale. Number one is that, did you take occupation? Okay, did you take possession, and did you sort out your documentation? And by the time you have sorted out all these three things, ability to resell becomes very, very important. This now very, very important. The next mistake that you must not make is the mistake of emotional attachment to property. We do this a lot, especially in this part of the world, right? In Nigeria, people hold on to property as if, no. You see, one thing that we must understand is this. Property is an investment. It must be doing two things: capital acquisition and cash flow. So at every point in time, you need to know, is this property increasing in value? Don't be emotionally attached to it. I see a lot of people build their first house, they are holding on to property, they are emotionally, it's like they bury their soul inside that property. And the best decision to take at that very point in time is to probably sell that property and move to another location. I have a friend, he works in a particular company, and the official car, they change the official car every 5 years. Because of the location he stays, all in the name that I'm staying in my own house, right? His car, by the time he uses the car for 1 year, the car is looking like he has used that car for 50 years. And I told him, I said, see, you are emotionally attached to that property. Put that property out for rent. You can be a landlord and a tenant at the same time. Okay, so when buying property, don't be emotionally attached to it. There are property that you don't have business staying in. That property is supposed to be for rental income, not for you to park in, all because you want to carry the title landlord. No, you can be a tenant and a landlord at the same time. Then, as I begin to round up, 3 more mistakes that I want you to pay attention to, and I need your full attention here. And I want you to write this in the chat room. Okay? Poor research. A lot of people don't do research. Okay? Poor research. For us at LifePage, before we even buy any property that we are ready to now start bringing people on board, is that we've done our research. We've done, because there are arteries, there are reasons why a place develops. There are arteries to city development. There are indices. There are things that a particular property must have that will allow your property to appreciate. There are things that a particular property must have that will make that property to give you the desired cash flow. And if you don't do proper research, there is no way you'll fall victim and you make that mistake. You make that mistake, okay? And second to the last point, which I'm going to be touching on here tonight, is that when you are thinking property, please don't think short term. Yes, I know that there is a place for property flipping. I buy, I touch it up, and I flip it. But when you are even doing property flipping, think long term. Property is not like, because a lot of people have done a lot of kalu, short-mindedness in thinking. That's why a lot of people lose out in property. I've seen people sell property just because they have, and I always tell people, see, right? If you have a problem and the only thing that you can do is to sell that property that you have, probably your financial intelligence is still questionable, okay? Because if you have not if let's assume that you don't even have that property, will you not be able to solve that problem? So you need to think of long term, because sometimes you just need to hold on to that property for 6 more months. I shared a story in our book, Beyond Land and Houses. I shared a story of a friend of mine. And while we were putting the book together, I needed to get the full gist of of his story, because he started a real estate journey just with 10,000 naira, and three years ago, when he did the valuation of all the property that he holds in a particular location, was over 750 million naira. And I shared the story with him. I asked him this question. I said, have you ever regret not buying enough or buying too much and all of those things? And he said something to me. He said, there was a time in the middle of holding, because you see, you need to hold on to property. You need to, there's a holding period. He said, while he was still holding to some of those property, he said he was tempted, because he added a need, he had a need. He said he was tempted to wanted to sell one of those properties. He said, thank God he never sold. Thank God, because shortly after, within a few months, the Lagos Ogumega project started and road construction everywhere, and the property value, what he was about to sell for like 200,000, moved to multiples of millions. Multiples of millions. The least he sold that property was 5 million naira. What was, because he had a pressing need, in quotes, wanted to sell it for 250,000 naira. Okay, then last thing, poor record keeping. When you are acquiring property in Nigeria, keep record. Keep record. Record is very, very important. Details, every payment, keep it. The meeting, record it. Every details, very, very important. Very, very important. I hope with this viewpoint of mine, I've been able to touch on all the things that will help you to avoid making mistakes when you're buying property in Nigeria. Thank you very much. So there will be section for question and answer later, so we'll come back to that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okwe Oluwaoni. A round of applause for Mr. Okwe. If you know that this session has really been insightful, I mean, I've never heard it this way. I've heard this topic in like bits and pieces, what people need to pay attention to, focus on when they want to acquire a property or buy a property. And I must say that this is very comprehensive. And in order to summarize it or to put it all in one word, there's a need for you to have a checklist. And that checklist should comprise of everything that Mr. Okwe has shared. Who agrees with me? Your checklist, next time you want to buy a property or you're thinking of acquiring a property, whether on your own or through a real estate company, which is best advisable, have all of these in your checklist, and then you are good to go. None of the items or the things that he has mentioned is irrelevant. They are all very relevant and very, very valuable. I want to say a very big thank you, Mr. Okwe, for sharing those very, very, very insightful gems that we would hold on to, not just for now, but forever. Importantly, we are super grateful. Thank you so much for putting that together. And I think it's very important to add that this is not just relevant for buying a property in Nigeria. I think globally, anywhere in the world, you know that when you buy something, you should take possession. Even when you're not buying land, you're just buying maybe a gadget, you know that that is very important. Documentation is important. The reason, the budget, the location, very, very important. I could go on and on to say thank you so much. I'm sure everybody here is also grateful. Even those who have been practicing real estate have never heard it like this before. So I want to say thank you for that, Mr. Okwe. One of the things that Mr. Okwe also mentioned was Obafemi Owode, and I know some people will be wondering, what is that? Anyways, let's take it from the top. I want to say a very big welcome to those who have just joined us. This is Mega Housing Summit 2025. If you joined us just recently, you haven't really missed a lot. You can catch the replay on YouTube. My name is Stella Uwechwe, and I am your anchor for tonight. So the voice you just heard, or the session you just concluded, is the session by Mr. Okwe Oluwaoni, and he spoke about mistakes to avoid when buying a property in Nigeria. In the course of his presentation, he made reference to a particular property, Obafemi Owode. This is a property in Ogun State, and the product video will be coming up shortly for you to enjoy it and also think about it using that checklist that he has shared. Do I think this is worth investing in? And I must say yes, but I would let you decide, because an informed or educated customer will always make the right decision. Also, we'll be watching a video, the RMP recruiting video. For those of you who are saying, I want to start real estate. I want to get into real estate, but I do not know how to. The easiest or the most basic level for you to enter into the real estate industry is becoming a realtor. And some people are saying, I don't know how to go about it. The good news is that LifePage has a realtor mentoring program that you can become a part of. So the video that you're going to be watching shortly is on Obafemi Owode, the property, and also RMP, so that you know how to get started. I want to celebrate the media team because they will be calling that up shortly already, and afterwards.
Should miss out on a real estate opportunity, then watch this video to the end.
Over 25 developers came together to open up this area, and LifePage is just one of them.
Instead of one person doing road, 25 people are doing road. So instead of one person looking for 1 billion, at least if you have 25 people, you can just bring 30 million and you have your, do you understand?
Government is a stakeholder in this project.
Richland City stands out because we are looking at 25 giants in the industry coming together to do something massive.
LifePage Group is part of the Conclave City Coalition, a development of 5,000 acres into a city by 25 developers, of which LifePage is one of them. And we are so excited because I know very, very well that if you become a part of this project, you are going to be having an investment that will give you good return.
The Gulf District is an eco-lifestyle development designed for investors who value size, serenity, and solid capital appreciation. Now, at pre-launch level, subscribers can secure a minimum of 1,000 square meter with 2 flexible options. Standard package, $10 per square meter, inclusive of documentation and development levy. Premium package, $15 per square meter with fencing added in. You can be sure that every plot here is a lifestyle worth living. Opportunities like this don't linger. The peace and potential is waiting for someone bold enough to claim them. Is that you? Lock down your plot at Richland City Gulf District today. Pre-launch slots are limited.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm back. So the video you just watched now is about Richland City Obafemi Owode, and I want to quickly give you a quick breakdown. See, the beautiful thing about Richland City Obafemi Owode is part of the coalition, a larger coalition of Conclave City Coalition, and LifePage is one of part of that coalition. And what we've decided to do is Richland City for us is not just land banking, it's premium living, just like it has been said in that video. And we have different districts. Okay, so a couple of months ago, we did the first district, which is Green Meadows. And for those that invested in that district, I mean, the testimonies abound. I mean, the value of that property is on another level right now. Okay, and we have the second district, which is the Lake Town district. The pre-launch ended not too long ago. Now, this is the third district, which is the Gulf, GOLL, the Gulf district. And this Gulf district, there are 2 packages, right? The minimum you can do in this Gulf district is 1,000 square meter, right? 1,000 square meter. So the standard package comes with both documentation and developmental levy. So the cost is all inclusive. And especially for those of you that are not in Nigeria and you want to invest back home, you have a vision, there's some things you want to do in the next 10 years, 5 years, and you're looking for a location that can help you to accommodate such, okay? So the price is $10,000 per square meter or 15,000 naira per square meter, or then the premium, okay? The premium is there's fencing inclusive, okay? It's not just the land, it's not just documentation, it's not just developmental levy, but we will also help you to fence your land. So all inclusive is $15 per square meter, which is 22,500 naira. And I know that some of you probably have a lot of questions concerning this very particular offer. So this is what you are going to do for anybody interested in this Richland City Gulf district in particular. All you just need to do is to send GOLF, that's Gulf, GOLF, to 090 6000 5747. 090 6000 5747. And the reason why you are doing this basically is so that you will be able to give you all the details, how you'll be able to take advantage of it, the form, the terms and conditions, so that you can go through it, right? Like I said, you'll be able to understand all the process before you invest into it. So all you just need to do is to send GOLF, right, to that number. And so if you are doing 1,000 square meter, so what that automatically means is that for the standard plot is just 15 million naira, and that includes the documentation, and also that includes the development levy. And that is that about the Richland City of Bafemi Wode. So please, let's take note of that. And one other thing, I saw a question earlier. Somebody saying that I'm new to real estate and I don't know how to start, where to start from. I don't even have money to start, okay? One offer that I have for us today, and I want you to really, really pay attention. If you are doing anything, don't be distracted. Listen to me. Let our eye be focused together tonight, okay? One thing I want to offer that I want to give to you is this. The testimonies abound. There are people within our system that are taking advantage of this offer, okay? Taking advantage of this offer that I'm about to talk about. So I just saw a message. Please, you can send message via WhatsApp. Okay, via WhatsApp is allowed. The fact I said send message does not mean that it's SMS. So send just go via WhatsApp. Those numbers, the number I mentioned, that very particular number is available on WhatsApp. Just send WhatsApp message, okay? Very, very important. So that we can aggregate those numbers and then we'll reach out to you specifically and answer all your questions. Okay, very important. So back to what I want to talk about. So if you are here and you know that you want to make extra income and using real estate as the tool to make that extra income, there is an opportunity for you. We have what we call the Realtor Mentoring Program. It's a virtual program that we have put together for every aspiring realtor. Realtor Mentoring Program is an opportunity to be coached by our CEO, Dr. Oladipupo Clement. Okay, for 6 weeks, he's going to groom you, take you through the process of how you can turn your network to net worth. It's not a rhyme. It is what can be done. It is what people have been doing. Okay, so and the opportunity is available. Normally, this program is about 100,000 naira, but we are giving everybody the next 72 hours in case you want to do the real estate mentoring program. Your future is one day you want to become a developer. The best way to start is actually starting as a realtor because it's costing you next to nothing to actually start. And for the next 72 hours, we are giving you the opportunity to just pay 20,000 naira and join that network, and you go through this program of mentoring and you go through this program of coaching and take advantage of all the tools and systems that we have put in place for you, and you will never regret it. So to take advantage of the RMP, okay, the Realtor Mentoring Program, all you just need to do is to send the message RMP. Send any message, okay, RMP, okay, to 090 6000 5737. RMP to 090 6000 5737. And for those that are interested in the Gulf district, okay, all you just need to send is Gulf, GOLF, to 090 6000 5747. Okay, thank you very much. Over to you, my uncle.
Thank you for that very, very insightful and very short explanation, Mr. Okoyeoluwa Oni. We really, really do appreciate. I do hope that each and every one of us on this call, whether on YouTube or whether on Zoom, will take advantage of these opportunities. Very, very important. One of the things that was said in the opening remark is that at this summit, you would learn that opportunity is not just reserved for a few persons. opportunities abound and exist for everyone, but then it's left for you to take advantage of these opportunities or find a way to leverage yourself. Because I've heard a lot of people, start saying in their mind, oh, I cannot afford that. I don't think that opportunity is for me. Well, if you become a realtor, you know that you can take advantage of this opportunity, because as a realtor, you earn commission. And Mr. Opoluwa Oni has already shared with us how you can become a realtor through the Realtor Mentorship Program that will be taken by Oladipupo Clement.